Good evening. I'm Teneshia Hudspeth, Harris County Clerk. That's Teneshia Hudspeth. Teneshia Hudspeth. Welcome to Harris County Election Headquarters, and thank you for joining us this evening. The polls closed at 7 p.m., though several vote centers are still qualifying voters who were in line by 7 p.m. At this time, we are releasing the unofficial early voting and vote by mail totals. Approximately over 340,000 in-person and mail ballots. By the end of the night, we project that this will be the first midterm primary election in which we surpass our combined 500,000 voters across early voting and election day. Turnout at this level is typically only seen during presidential primaries. Unofficial results will continue to be posted throughout the evening at harrisvotes.com. Most likely, every hour and half hour, we are currently awaiting the return of equipment and official paperwork after election judges complete closing procedures at the more than 280 vote centers across Harris County. I say that lightly. There are many vote centers across the county that are still voting voters and will continue to do so for every voter that was in line by 7 o'clock p.m. Because we must tabulate two separate reports simultaneously, results will take slightly longer to process. So remember, there is the Democratic primary and the Republican primary. Two elections taking place simultaneously. We will continue working through the night to complete all required procedures, ensure every vote is counted and verified, and meet the state's 24-hour reporting deadline. Overall, it's been a good election day in Harris County. Our call center has received approximately 1,200 calls. Most of them had to do with vote centers with procedural questions. That means election judges, election workers, getting those questions in, getting support and assistance throughout the day. Our other calls were from voters. Where do I vote? What's on my ballot? Many of those questions included, why am I in a new congressional district? I don't remember this. I didn't know about redistricting. I've been in a congressional district for so long. So many voters questioning their ballots and their new districts, including why do I have to choose a political party to vote in? So reaffirming and re-educating voters on how primaries work in the state of Texas, and that you do have to choose a political party in the primary, unlike November, although you don't have to register by party in Texas. I want to close by thanking all of our election workers, thousands of election judges, clerks, and every staff member and volunteer who helps keep Harris County elections safe, accessible, and transparent. I would be remiss if I left out our county commissioners and our county judge, along with many stakeholders in Harris County government that supports this operation. If there is a runoff, that election will be held Tuesday, May 26. If there is a runoff, which I suspect there will be on both sides of the political aisles, that election will be held Tuesday, May 26, 2026. Again, results should be online at harrisvotes.com. You can see the individual reports by party and the turnout a little bit as of 7:12 p.m. So again, the reports you're seeing right now online is all those who chose to vote early in person during those 11 days of early voting and cast their ballots by mail during that time frame. As of 7:12 today, over a total of 201,000 have voted election day. But remember, voters are still in line. So we are going to continue to give those updates and those counts for Election Day. You will see those results once those vote centers break down, get their paperwork done, and report in to our regional collection sites, which ultimately will come here to election headquarters. So as of now, over 201,000 voters have voted today on Election Day. Of that 201,000, over 130,000 were Democrats. So out of the 201,000, over 130,000 were Democrats and over 70,000 were Republicans. Again, this number is fluid because we have many vote centers still reporting. Are there any questions at this time? So the count throughout the night and meeting that 24-hour deadline never stops. There's no going home, taking a nap, and coming back. As you can see behind me, we have a robust team of staff, not only here at election headquarters, but around this county right now. And so we will all continue to work. I have no doubt that we would meet that deadline. We met the deadline in 2024 presidential and every other single election that I have run. And so essentially, I have my cot upstairs in my office. If I have to take a break, I will, and I'll come right back to it. But we will continue counting, and we will meet that deadline. Thank you for that question. Yes, thank you for that question in regards to critical safeguards in elections and what essentially happens. A brief summary, because it's a lot of steps between election vote centers and coming in. So at the end, once every voter has voted at every single poll, the first thing that the election workers begin to do is gather all their paperwork for today. That's many forms and documents, and they begin to shut down many pieces of the equipment that have to be brought in to reporting. Every single vote center is given a regional collection site that's within a certain proximity of their election vote center. So there's about 5 total, one being here at election headquarters and several others in other regions of Harris County. So it takes the vote centers an average of 2 hours for the shutdown process before they leave the building. Voters should know that there's no one pushing a button at a vote center to send results, right? By law, you cannot do that. It all has to be tabulated at our central headquarters here at our central headquarters that we're standing in now. And so once they finish that paperwork, they shut everything down. The presiding judge and typically the alternate judge both go together to that vote center or follow each other to that regional collection site once they leave the vote center. And there is where our full-time staff members and many volunteers are handling checks and balances. They're opening their trunks, they're opening their cars, and our team members are going to check every single checklist item off. And the judge must sign that we have received all items, including the drives that have to be read before they leave the site. If for any reason they don't have that, again, what I say they have before they can leave, that means all the paperwork is set out, the machines, documentation, and before they leave that vote center, we are sure that we have those items. If we don't, we send someone to go to that vote center with those election workers. So those are many different aspects of what's happening. Once that paperwork is done at a regional collection site, then here at headquarters is where we receive the final drives and the actual results are read and put out here from election headquarters. I gave you a summary and that seemed long, but trust me, there are many more steps to that than you can imagine. So we all should be very thankful to the election workers in the field. They have worked over 12 to 16 hours. Some worked all of early voting and election day. And then to get to this last part of the day after voting voters all day, finishing that paperwork, getting everything in, and, you know, I'm sure you all will be able to get some B-roll of what's going on at this regional collection site here. We have law enforcement partners here making sure that everything is safe as it comes into the center here and at our regional collection site. So a lot of members of the public, the community, and county employees help to cover this massive operation here in Harris County. Yeah, so in terms of discrepancies, the only thing that could come up in that process is spending more time at a vote center, right? And really, I wouldn't call that a discrepancy. It's a part of the logistical process that can be very demanding. So if for some reason we see that election workers are at a vote center for a longer period of time and they're sort of stuck, we have either trainers or technical individuals that go to those sites to help them with the shutdown process. It could be a litany of things, right, that come up, needing some help. I'm tired at the end of the day. Can you send someone here? And then if they get to their regional collection site where we're going through those boxes and those items and something for some reason has been left at the vote center or left behind, then we don't leave any stone unturned until we have all items in house and here at the election headquarters before the night closes. That's a part of the 24 count and making sure that every single item is taken care of. You should also know another big part of this operation is the political parties. They not only appoint individuals to work the election polls, but they appoint individuals to work here at headquarters. So immediately here to this side, you'll see our central count center or station where the results are being read. Members of the Democratic and Republican Party are here reviewing all those numbers before they go out to the public. And so our ballot by mail, we have Democrats and Republicans alike reviewing the ballot applications and signatures. So there are a lot of checks and balances. And we also have the Secretary of State here to observe the work that we are doing. And we work together as a partner, although I am the chief election official of Harris County. So those are some of the elements. I don't necessarily call them discrepancies unless an election worker leaves and go get Whataburger before reporting to us, which could happen. But we do encourage them to get here in a timely manner.
Have there been any issues with voting today, like machines not working or something like ballots that weren't voting?
Yeah, I am happy to report there was more than enough paper and enough at all of the voting centers, so that is definitely not news. In terms of the equipment, every now and then you're going to get a machine that has a technical issue, but we had a robust amount of about 200 techs in the field that were able to address anything that came up within a certain time frame. Many of our vote centers also had full-time trainers at their sites for support there, as well as some of our recruitment team. So we've grown pretty big where we've trained a lot of folks to help out our election workers. Yes, are we going to have, hey, we've got a concern with the scan, does this need to be replaced? We have those, but nothing that has impeded the voting process. All voters, I just said, over 200,000 people have voted today, over 340,000 have voted during early voting, and so we're proud of the work that our team has done over the month, well, several months, almost a year to prepare for today. All right, so just a couple of things. On Harris Votes right now, you can find the unofficial results. All those who voted early in person, applaud yourselves because your results are coming in now, as well as those who have voted by mail and returned their mail ballots. Throughout the night, we will continue to provide numbers as we receive them for vote centers, but please, pack your patience because it is going to take some time to get all of the boxes in, go through our compliance measures, and report those numbers. There are two reports, one for the Democratic Party, one for the Republican Party, and we will continue through that throughout the night. Thank you. I'm Teneshia Hudspeth, your county clerk, and I look forward to providing more updates tonight.